All right, next what we're going to do is we are going to install the tuner. We're going to put a hole in the bottom of the can so that the string can go through. We're also going to put a screw in the bottom of our Canjo so that we can attach the string to it. Okay, so we're going to get all that done in this video. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to drill a hole to put this screw in. So what are we going to need to do all this stuff? So we are going to need your tuner and the screw that came with it, one of these number 6 hex head screws, 1/4 inch nut driver, Phillips head screwdriver, 10mm socket. You only need the 10mm socket if you have the double post one. Okay. We're going to need a 3 32nd inch drill bit to pre-tap our small screw for our tuner. To pre-tap for the hex head screw. We'll need a 5 64th inch screw drill bit to pre-tap for this screw. We'll need a center punch. This is going to be used to kind of locate the height of the hole in the can. And we'll need a hammer to help center punch that. Next, we are going to drill that screw hole right in the center here. Now, if we just put the screw in, it might split the wood, so we need to pre-tap it. So we're going to take this, we're going to line it up right in the center of all that stuff. If you need to make a mark to help yourself pre-tap it, go right ahead. We'll drill in there. Okay? Make sure you got that hole drilled out well. Okay? Next, even though we don't have the string on there yet, what you're going to want to do is you are going to want to thread that in there. Okay? Once you get it threaded in, we're just going to leave it there until the next step when we need to actually put the string on. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take that hole punch and we're going to punch a hole in the bottom of our can. Now, this thing is set up to the correct height for us because what we want is we want that hole punch to land right even with the hole. So the string is about the same height. Okay? So in order to use this hole punch, what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to put this up next to a wall. So let's go do that. Oh, you're going to just keep going, huh? All right, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put this up against the wall. You're then going to line up that hole punch right on the bottom of the can. Now what you can do is a couple things here. You can just make a little scratch in there to identify the height, then use a drill to drill the hole. Ideally what you'd like to do is just take this hammer and just give it a little tap. What that'll do is that'll put a little dent in there for us to use our drill. If you hit it too hard, you might actually puncture a hole and then you're done. But I prefer to do the drill after I do the little tap. All right, let's drill it quick while we're here. So if you zoom in here, you'll see that I do have a small little dent right on the can. That's where I'm going to drill in. Okay. If your dent isn't big enough, you won't be able to drill in there. All right, once I have it drilled in, we're good to go. All right. Now that we have our holes and screws drilled in the can, we're going to install the tuner. Now, depending on which type of tuner you have, it'll be a little bit different. So if you have the single post tuner, this thing sometimes falls off, so you just have to make sure you get that back on there. And you're going to put it under. The side with the tuner part is going to go on the side that's skinnier. Okay? This one's pretty easy. You just push it through the hole. Okay? On the other side, you're going to have 2 holes because this one comes with 2 screws. So what you're going to do is you're going to pre-drill each of those holes. Now if you want, you can mark them, then drill them, or drill a little bit, pull it back out, and then you can put it down on a surface, which might make it a little easier to drill. Once you have it on that surface, drill in. This is to pre-tap for those little screws. And here I'm using that 5 64th inch drill bit. Once you have that done, you can put your tuner back in, and now it's time to install those little screws. Put those little screws in there. Be extra careful not to strip out these screws. Put your screwdriver on there, twist it. If it feels like it's not going in very easy, make sure you've drilled deep enough. All right, now I'm going to show you how to put on the double post. All right. For the double post, it's pretty similar. You have the larger hole on the bottom, the smaller hole on top. Again, we're going to put this tuner facing the skinnier side. All right, so here we go. We put it in there. All right, once it's in there, just make sure that this is kind of rotated the way you want it. You're going to place this in. What you'll do is at some point it will start to grab. You just screw it in there. Take your 10mm socket and tighten it down. This does come with a washer, but we don't have quite enough room on our boards for the washer too. So tighten it down. Once you have it tightened it down, flip it over. This is where we're going to be pre-drilling. So we're going to set that right on the edge of the table. We'll pre-drill that hole. Again, we're pre-drilling with the 5/64" drill bit. Once we have that pre-drilled, we're going to put in that small screw. And again, being careful not to strip that screw out, we're going to screw it in. Okay. Once you have it screwed in, you're on to the next step.